Urgent from heaven, 5 archangels are surrounding you right now. ****, don't scroll, listen to this, because if you stopped right here, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Take a breath and stay with me, because this is not random timing, this is a divine interruption meant to reach you before you brushed past a moment that could quietly change everything. Listen to this. You are not alone in this moment, even if it feels that way. 5 archangels are surrounding you right now, not in a dramatic, overwhelming way, but in a steady, protective presence that settles your nervous system before your mind can explain it. Don't scroll. This message is for you because heaven doesn't press urgency unless something meaningful is unfolding, and something meaningful is unfolding for you right now. Listen to this. If you felt a strange heaviness lift, or a sudden pause in your thoughts, or an unexpected calm wash over your chest as you read this, that's not coincidence, that's presence. Archangel Michael is standing guard, cutting through fear, confusion, and lingering attachments that no longer belong to your future. Gabriel is clarifying your inner voice so you can finally hear what your intuition has been saying all along without doubt. Raphael is easing emotional fatigue you normalized for too long, reminding your body it doesn't have to brace anymore. Uriel is illuminating what's been hidden, not to overwhelm you, but to help you see clearly without fear. Chamuel is surrounding your heart, especially in matters of love, restoring a sense of safety where uncertainty once lived. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because protection isn't always loud, sometimes it feels like relief. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening has been happening quietly, even if you haven't labeled it that way. You've become more sensitive to energy, less tolerant of chaos, more aware of what drains you. You've noticed certain conversations leave you tired, certain situations feel heavier than they used to, and certain choices no longer feel neutral in your body. That's not overthinking, that's alignment sharpening. Don't scroll. This message is for you because your awareness has outgrown old patterns, and heaven is meeting you at that exact level of growth. Listen to this. Angel numbers weren't appearing to confuse you or rush you, they were appearing to reassure you. 1111 showed up when you questioned whether you were truly on the right path or just hoping you were. 222 appeared when balance felt close but fragile, reminding you harmony doesn't come from sacrifice alone. 44 appeared when you were tired but protected, showing you that support exists even when you stop holding everything together by yourself. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because you've been guided longer than you realize. Listen to this. This message also reaches into love and soulmate energy, because love has been one of the areas where you learned to override your intuition in the past. You stayed longer than felt right. You waited for clarity that never came. You told yourself confusion was normal. Don't scroll. This message is for you because divine love does not destabilize your nervous system. It does not keep you guessing. It does not require emotional labor to feel secure. Recognition feels calm. Recognition feels mutual. Recognition feels safe. Listen to this. Whether a soulmate is approaching your life, revealing their truth, or being gently removed, the 5 archangels are surrounding you to protect your heart from repeating emotional lessons that were meant to end in the last chapter. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because intensity is not destiny, and peace is not boring, peace is alignment. Listen to this. The urgency you felt at the beginning of this message wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to pause you before you made a choice from habit instead of truth. A yes you didn't mean. A silence that cost you peace. A step backward disguised as comfort. Don't scroll. This message is for you because awareness arrived just in time, and timing matters more than effort. Listen to this. You are not being asked to confront anyone, explain yourself, or make a dramatic move right now. Protection doesn't always look like action. Sometimes it looks like pause, distance, and choosing yourself quietly. Your heart needs this right now because quiet choices often change the loudest outcomes. Don't scroll. You may notice as you read this that the urgency is softening into steadiness. That's not the message fading, that's the message integrating. Alignment often feels like relief before it feels like change. Listen to this. After this moment, watch for subtle shifts. Clearer thoughts, calmer reactions, less need to fix or prove anything. These are signs the protection is working. Don't scroll. There may still be a part of your mind that tries to question this, telling you it's coincidence, imagination, or timing. Let that pass. Doubt is loud. Truth is calm. Your body already recognized the difference. Listen to this. Staying with this message until the end is not about superstition, it's about presence. And presence is where guidance can finally land. Don't scroll. This is only the beginning of what's unfolding, but it's the beginning that matters most. Take one slow breath right now. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the steadiness return. Because you paused, because you listened, because you didn't scroll, the 5 archangels are surrounding you, quietly, gently, and exactly when you needed it most. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you stayed for part 2, this message is opening deeper on purpose, and your heart needs this right now. This is where the presence of the 5 archangels becomes something you can feel in your body, not just understand with your mind. Listen to this. What's happening around you right now is not random reassurance, it's stabilization. Archangel Michael is still standing guard, but now his energy feels quieter, firmer, like a steady hand at your back instead of a warning in front of you. That's because the urgency already did its job, it slowed you down before you rushed past your own intuition again. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you were about to move forward carrying weight that was never meant to come with you. Listen to this. You've been living in a season where your inner world has been rearranging itself. Old desires don't pull you the same way. Old fears don't scare you the same way. Old patterns try to return, but they feel obvious now, almost transparent. That's not because you're detached, it's because your awareness has matured. Your heart needs this right now because maturity doesn't harden you, it steadies you. Don't scroll. The 5 archangels are surrounding you because steadiness is what allows truth to land without panic. Listen to this. Gabriel is working closely with your inner voice right now. You may notice fewer racing thoughts, fewer mental arguments, fewer moments where you talk yourself out of what you feel. That's not coincidence. That's clarity. Gabriel doesn't shout, he refines. He makes the truth feel simple instead of complicated. Don't scroll. This message is for you because simple truth is easier to trust than dramatic signs. Listen to this. Raphael's presence is especially strong in your emotional body. You've normalized being tired for so long that you forgot what rested feels like. Emotional fatigue doesn't always look like sadness, sometimes it looks like numbness, irritation, or constant self-management. Your heart needs this right now because healing doesn't always feel like release. Sometimes it feels like finally exhaling after holding your breath for years. Don't scroll. Uriel is illuminating what you couldn't see clearly before, not to overwhelm you, but to free you. You may suddenly understand why certain situations never resolved, why certain people never changed, why certain doors kept closing. That understanding doesn't feel painful anymore, it feels neutral. Neutrality is wisdom integrating. Listen to this. Wisdom doesn't demand reaction, it invites alignment. Don't scroll. Chamuel is holding your heart gently, especially in matters of love and soulmate energy. You've had seasons where love felt like effort, confusion, or emotional labor. You told yourself that's just how love works. Your heart needs this right now because divine love doesn't exhaust you. It doesn't destabilize your nervous system. It doesn't require you to shrink to keep it. Recognition feels calm. Recognition feels mutual. Recognition feels like safety without boredom. Listen to this. Whether a soulmate is approaching your life, revealing their truth, or being gently removed, the 5 archangels are surrounding you so you don't mistake familiarity for destiny again. Don't scroll. This message is for you because destiny doesn't repeat lessons you've already integrated. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening has shifted from seeking confirmation to embodying trust. You're no longer asking the universe for signs every step of the way. You're starting to move with quiet confidence. Angel numbers still appear, but now they feel like affirmations rather than instructions. 1111 feels like alignment already in motion. 222 feels like balance holding without negotiation. 444 feels like protection that doesn't require vigilance. Your heart needs this right now because trust is the bridge between guidance and peace. Don't scroll. You may notice after this moment that your reactions change. You pause before responding. You don't feel compelled to explain yourself. You choose distance without guilt. That's not avoidance, that's discernment leading. Listen to this. Discernment is calm, not dramatic. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that protection isn't always about blocking something bad, sometimes it's about preventing you from repeating something draining. And repetition is what steals time quietly. Your heart needs this right now because time reclaimed becomes energy restored. Don't scroll. There may still be a voice that tries to minimize this moment, telling you it's just words, just timing, just coincidence. Let that voice pass. Doubt is loud because it's defensive. Truth is calm because it doesn't need permission. Listen to this. Your body already recognized what's real here, the steadiness, the relief, the clarity. Don't scroll. This part exists because most people feel the presence and rush back into noise, but you stayed long enough for it to settle. And settling changes how you move forward. Take another slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. Feel how grounded you are right now. This is what it feels like when heaven surrounds you, not to rush you, but to walk with you. Stay present for just a moment longer, because what unfolds next builds on this steadiness, and the 5 archangels are still right here, guiding quietly, protecting gently, and reminding you that you are not alone as this new chapter begins. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you're still here for part 3, this message is deepening exactly where it was meant to, and your heart needs this right now. This is where the presence of the 5 archangels stops feeling like something around you and starts feeling like something within you, because protection that truly lasts doesn't hover outside, it integrates into how you choose, how you speak to yourself, how you move through the next moments of your life. Listen to this. What you're feeling now isn't excitement or fear, it's steadiness, and steadiness is the clearest sign that heaven is close. Archangel Michael isn't sounding alarms anymore because the interruption already worked. You paused. You listened. And that pause redirected a path that was quietly repeating itself. Don't scroll. This message is for you because repetition often disguises itself as patience, loyalty, or being the bigger person, and you were moments away from carrying something that no longer belongs in your future. Listen to this. You've changed more than you give yourself credit for. The old version of you would have ignored the tightness in your chest, pushed through the exhaustion, justified the discomfort. This version notices. This version pauses. This version asks, why does this feel familiar? Your heart needs this right now because that question alone breaks cycles that once lasted years. Don't scroll. The 5 archangels are surrounding you because awareness has reached a threshold where support must meet it, or you'd outgrow the lesson without the relief. Gabriel's presence is especially active right now, clearing mental fog you didn't realize you were living with. You may notice your thoughts feel slower, clearer, less argumentative. That's not distraction, that's alignment. Gabriel refines truth so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Don't scroll. Raphael is continuing his work in your emotional body. You've lived in survival mode longer than you should have had to, and survival taught you resilience, but it also taught you to normalize being tired. Healing doesn't always arrive as tears or breakthroughs, sometimes it arrives as permission to rest without guilt. Your heart needs this right now because rest is not laziness, it's restoration. Listen to this. Uriel is illuminating patterns without attaching emotion to them. You may suddenly understand why certain connections never stabilized, why certain doors never opened, why certain cycles kept looping. That understanding feels calm now because wisdom has replaced longing. Don't scroll. Wisdom doesn't argue with the past, it releases it. Chamuel's energy is holding your heart steady, especially around love and soulmate energy. You are no longer meant to confuse intensity with destiny, chemistry with compatibility, or attachment with alignment. Recognition feels calm. Recognition feels mutual. Recognition feels safe enough to be quiet. Your heart needs this right now because love aligned with your future will not require you to abandon yourself to feel chosen. Don't scroll. This message is for you because your standards aren't rising out of ego, they're rising out of self-respect finally settling into your body. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening has moved into embodiment. You're no longer searching for signs to tell you who you are, you're letting your nervous system guide you toward what feels right. Angel numbers still appear, but they land differently now. 1111 feels like confirmation, not a question. 222 feels like balance holding without negotiation. 444 feels like protection that doesn't require vigilance. These are acknowledgments that you are listening. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that protection isn't about blocking every challenge, it's about ensuring challenges don't repeat unnecessarily. And the lesson you were in has been completed. Your heart needs this right now because completion often feels anticlimactic before it feels liberating. Don't scroll. You may notice after this moment that you no longer feel compelled to explain your choices to people who don't understand them. That's not defensiveness. That's confidence growing roots. You may feel less reactive, less eager to respond immediately, less willing to sacrifice peace to maintain appearances. Listen to this. These are signs that the 5 archangels aren't just surrounding you, they're guiding how you move forward. Don't scroll. There may still be a voice that tries to pull you back into doubt, telling you that you're overthinking, being dramatic, or reading too much into a moment. Let that voice pass. Doubt is loud because it fears losing control. Truth is calm because it doesn't need to convince you. Your body already recognized what's real here. Listen to this. Staying present through this part matters because integration happens slowly, not all at once. Most people feel guidance and rush back into noise. You stayed. And staying long enough to feel steadiness is what rewires patterns permanently. Don't scroll. Take another slow breath right now. Notice how your shoulders drop. Notice how your chest feels lighter. That's not coincidence, that's alignment anchoring. Your heart needs this right now because what unfolds next depends not on urgency, but on trust. And trust grows quietly, like roots beneath the surface, unseen but strong. Don't scroll. This part exists because heaven doesn't just want your attention, it wants your peace. And because you stayed, because you listened again, the 5 archangels remain with you. Not hovering, not rushing, but walking beside you as you step forward into a chapter that no longer requires you to struggle to feel safe. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you are still here for part 4, this message is meeting you at a deeper crossing point, and your heart needs this right now. This is where the presence of the 5 archangels becomes guidance you can trust in real time, not just reassurance you feel for a moment, because protection that lasts reshapes your choices after the calm settles. Listen to this. What's unfolding now is not dramatic on the outside, but it is decisive on the inside. Archangel Michael is anchoring courage in you that doesn't need confrontation, doesn't need proof, and doesn't need applause. Courage that says, I can choose differently without explaining myself. Courage that knows peace is not something you earn by enduring more. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you were raised, trained, or conditioned to believe strength meant carrying weight quietly, and now heaven is teaching you a different definition of strength. One that rests, discerns, and redirects before harm repeats. Listen to this. You may notice that your reactions are changing in subtle but powerful ways. Where you once felt pulled to respond immediately, you pause. Where you once felt compelled to fix or smooth things over, you allow space. Where you once felt anxious about silence, you let silence work for you. That's not detachment, that's mastery settling into your nervous system. Your heart needs this right now because mastery doesn't shout, it stabilizes. Don't scroll. Gabriel's influence is refining your communication, not just with others, but with yourself. You are learning to speak internally with clarity instead of criticism, honesty instead of fear. Thoughts that once spiraled now organize themselves. Questions that once demanded answers now rest without urgency. Listen to this. When truth is aligned, it doesn't chase certainty, it waits calmly for recognition. Don't scroll. Raphael is continuing to heal layers of emotional fatigue that were never addressed because you kept moving forward. You didn't fall apart, so you assumed you were fine. But survival isn't the same as wellness. Healing now feels like permission to rest without guilt, to say no without explanation, to feel without managing it for others. Your heart needs this right now because healing doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it feels like relief sneaking up on you when you least expect it. Listen to this. Uriel's light is revealing the structure beneath your experiences. You're seeing patterns without attaching blame. You understand why certain doors closed, why certain cycles looped, why certain connections couldn't stabilize. That understanding doesn't sting anymore, it settles. Settling is wisdom integrating. Don't scroll. Wisdom doesn't demand you revisit the past, it releases you from it. Chamuel's presence is steady around your heart, especially where love and soulmate energy are concerned. You are no longer magnetized to intensity that confuses your body. You are becoming available to love that feels calm, mutual, and safe. Recognition feels like being met where you stand, not pulled forward by potential. Your heart needs this right now because love aligned with your future does not ask you to abandon yourself to feel chosen. Don't scroll. This message is for you because your spiritual awakening has reached embodiment. You're not collecting signs anymore, you're living the alignment those signs pointed toward. Angel numbers still appear, but now they affirm rather than instruct. 1111 feels like alignment already underway. 222 feels like balance holding without compromise. 444 feels like protection that doesn't require vigilance. These are confirmations that you are listening and responding from a grounded place. Listen to this. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that protection is not about avoiding all challenges, it's about preventing unnecessary repetition. The lesson you were in has been learned, and learned lessons don't need to return. Your heart needs this right now because repetition drains life quietly, and awareness restores it gently. Don't scroll. You may feel an urge to rush back into activity after this, to distract yourself from the stillness. Resist that urge for just a few breaths. Stillness is where integration happens. Stillness is where guidance settles into muscle memory. Listen to this. There may be moments ahead when the old world tries to pull you back, familiar dynamics, familiar expectations, familiar emotional hooks. When that happens, check your body. If it tightens, that's information. If it relaxes, that's confirmation. Your body has become a trustworthy compass. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you're learning to trust the quiet signals instead of overriding them with logic or guilt. Listen to this. The 5 archangels are not asking you to be perfect, spiritual, or detached. They are asking you to be honest, honest about what costs you peace, honest about what no longer fits, honest about what you're ready to release. Honesty doesn't require announcements. It requires alignment. Don't scroll. You may notice your life simplifying after this. Fewer internal negotiations, fewer emotional emergencies, fewer moments where you feel split between what you want and what you think you should accept. That simplification is not loss, it's refinement. Refined energy attracts what can meet it. Your heart needs this right now because refinement is how futures become sustainable. Listen to this. If doubt tries to creep in and minimize this moment, let it pass. Doubt is loud because it's afraid of losing control. Truth is calm because it's already rooted. Don't scroll. You stayed through the depth of this message because you were ready to integrate it, not just hear it. Take one more slow breath. Feel how grounded you are right now. That grounded feeling is the presence of heaven working with you, not above you. And because you stayed, because you listened again, the 5 archangels remain close. Guiding your steps, protecting your peace, and helping you move forward in a way that no longer repeats the past, but builds a future that finally feels like home. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you are still here for part 5, this message is now speaking to the part of you that already knows something has shifted, and your heart needs this right now. This is where the presence of the 5 archangels becomes a quiet agreement between heaven and your own inner truth, because guidance that lasts doesn't overwhelm you, it aligns with what you're finally ready to accept. Listen to this. The calm you feel now isn't accidental, it's the signal that protection has moved from surrounding you to strengthening you from the inside. Archangel Michael is no longer blocking the path. He's empowering your discernment so you don't walk into what drains you again. You may notice that decisions feel simpler, that your body gives answers before your mind debates, that the pull toward old dynamics has softened. Don't scroll. This message is for you because simplicity is not loss, it's clarity after confusion finally dissolves. Listen to this. Gabriel's influence is helping you hear your inner voice without distortion. The self-doubt that once questioned every feeling is loosening its grip. You're no longer asking, "Am I allowed to feel this?" You're asking, "Does this feel true?" And that shift matters more than you realize. Your heart needs this right now because truth doesn't need permission to exist. Don't scroll. Raphael's healing is working in places you didn't realize were still sore. The exhaustion you carried quietly, the emotional labor you normalized, the weight of being the strong one for too long. Healing here doesn't feel dramatic, it feels like relief, like your shoulders dropping without you telling them to. Listen to this. Relief is how the body says, it's safe to stop bracing. Don't scroll. Uriel's light is helping you see your life without illusion or self-blame. You understand now why certain chapters couldn't continue, why certain people couldn't meet you where you were growing, why certain doors closed despite your effort. That understanding feels neutral, not painful, because wisdom has replaced attachment. Your heart needs this right now because wisdom doesn't argue with the past, it learns and releases. Listen to this. Chamuel's presence around your heart is steady and gentle, especially where love and soulmate energy are concerned. You're no longer drawn to love that requires proving, waiting, or emotional endurance. You're becoming available to love that feels calm, mutual, and emotionally safe. Recognition feels like ease, not urgency. Recognition feels like being met, not managed. Don't scroll. This message is for you because love aligned with your destiny does not ask you to abandon yourself to feel chosen. Listen to this. Your spiritual awakening has matured into embodiment. You're no longer collecting signs. You're living the alignment those signs were pointing toward. Angel numbers still appear, but now they feel like affirmations instead of instructions. 1111 confirms you're already on the right path. 222 reassures you balance is holding without compromise. 444 reminds you protection is present even when you rest. Your heart needs this right now because trust has replaced urgency. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that cycles don't end because you fight them. They end because you no longer feed them. And you're no longer feeding what drains you. That's why the pull feels weaker, the memories quieter, the temptation less persuasive. Listen to this. You're not becoming indifferent, you're becoming free. Don't scroll. You may notice after this that your boundaries feel natural instead of forced. You don't rehearse explanations. You don't justify distance. You don't feel guilty choosing peace. That's not selfishness, that's self-respect integrated. Your heart needs this right now because self-respect is the foundation of every aligned future. Listen to this. There may still be moments when the old world tries to call you back, familiar dynamics, familiar expectations, familiar emotional hooks. When that happens, pause and check your body. Tightness is information. Calm is confirmation. Your body has become your compass. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you're learning to trust the quiet signals instead of overriding them with logic or obligation. Listen to this. The 5 archangels are not asking you to isolate, withdraw, or detach from life. They're guiding you to engage from a grounded place, where you don't lose yourself to stay connected. Engagement without self-abandonment is the new standard you're stepping into. Your heart needs this right now because standards rooted in peace attract what can actually meet you. Don't scroll. You may notice your life beginning to simplify, fewer emotional emergencies, fewer internal negotiations, fewer moments where you feel split between what you want and what you think you should accept. That simplification isn't emptiness, it's space. Space for aligned opportunities. Space for love that feels steady. Space for peace to become your default. Listen to this. Peace is not boring, it's stable enough to build on. Don't scroll. This part exists because staying present long enough to feel steadiness is how guidance becomes lived experience. Most people feel calm and rush back into noise. You stayed. And staying is what allowed this message to settle into your body instead of passing through your mind. Take one slow breath here. Notice how grounded you feel. That grounded feeling is heaven working with you, not above you. And because you stayed, because you listened again, the 5 archangels remain close, not urgently, not loudly, but faithfully, guiding your next steps so you no longer repeat the past, but move forward into a future that finally feels aligned, sustainable, and truly your own. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you stayed all the way to this final ending, this message has found the exact person it was meant to reach, and your heart needs this right now. This is the moment the 5 archangels wanted you to arrive at, where urgency dissolves into certainty and protection becomes a lived truth instead of a fleeting feeling. Listen to this. You didn't stay because you were curious, you stayed because something inside you recognized safety, and safety is where destiny finally lands. Archangel Michael is not sounding an alarm anymore, he is standing behind you now, steady and unshakable, making sure you don't look back out of habit or guilt. Gabriel is quieting the last echoes of doubt so your inner voice sounds clear and trustworthy again. Raphael is sealing the healing that began earlier, easing the emotional fatigue you once accepted as normal and reminding your body it doesn't have to brace for impact anymore. Uriel is illuminating the road ahead just enough so you can walk it calmly, without rushing or fear. Chamuel is holding your heart in a way that feels gentle and real, restoring your belief that love can be safe, mutual, and steady. Don't scroll. This message is for you because staying until the very end means you were ready to integrate it, not just hear it. Listen to this. The calm you feel right now is not the message fading, it's the message anchoring. Calm is what happens when truth settles into the nervous system. Calm is how you'll recognize alignment from this point forward. Your heart needs this right now because you spent too long believing growth had to hurt, that love had to be intense, that protection had to be loud. Heaven is showing you something different. What's meant for you feels steady enough to stay. Don't scroll. This final moment reaches into love and soulmate energy with clarity. Whether a soulmate is approaching, revealing truth, or gently leaving your life, the lesson is complete. You will never again have to repeat pain to prove your worth. Recognition has replaced longing. Recognition feels calm. Recognition feels mutual. Recognition feels like being met where you stand instead of pulled toward potential. Listen to this. You once confused intensity with destiny. Now you know destiny doesn't destabilize your peace. Don't scroll. Your spiritual awakening has reached embodiment. You're no longer searching for signs to tell you what to do, you're trusting the signals your body gives you without apology. Angel numbers may still appear, but now they feel like acknowledgments instead of instructions. 1111 confirms alignment already in motion. 222 reassures balance is holding without compromise. 444 reminds you protection is present even when you rest. These are confirmations that you listened in time. Your heart needs this right now because trust has replaced urgency, and trust is what allows blessings to stay. Don't scroll. After this moment, watch how life responds differently. Decisions feel simpler, boundaries feel natural, conversations feel clearer, and you no longer feel compelled to explain your piece to anyone. That's not distance, that's self-respect integrating. Listen to this. There may still be moments when the past tries to whisper, reminding you of familiarity, comfort, or unfinished business. When that happens, return to how your body feels right now. Calm is not boredom. Calm is confidence without armor. Calm is the clearest confirmation you chose correctly. Don't scroll. This ending was written for those who watch until the very last word, because staying means you were ready to close the chapter completely. One day, you will look back at this exact moment, the moment you didn't scroll, the moment you stayed, and realize this was the shift. Not because something dramatic happened on the outside, but because something inside you finally settled and refused to repeat the past ever again. Listen to this. You are protected. You are guided. You are allowed to choose yourself without guilt. And because you watched until the end, because you stayed present instead of rushing away, the 5 archangels remain with you as you move forward, not urgently, not loudly, but faithfully, ensuring that what comes next is calmer, clearer, and worthy of the peace you finally allowed yourself to keep.